and I'm going to go through this journey to spend enough time with myself where the world can't fucking control me. And my mind is not programmed by the world. I'm the one that fucking controls my mind.
Start when we stop, we gon' get it done. Get it when we start, we gon' get it done. Start when we stop, we gon' get it done. Anthony's World.
Let's roll. What's going on, everyone? I'm Anthony. You know me as Anthony's World. We're back in the studio. It's been a while. It's been a while since I've done this. I'm a little nervous, actually. It's gonna be kind of fun though. It's gonna be fun. We have, does anyone ever call you LMP? Like, is that too?
Yeah, you could use that as well.
LMP. You were right. That is a rap. We have LMP, Luke Mind Power. And I'm supposed to be reading this because I was forced to read this. And Luke is a motivational speaker and mentor. He helps people discover their greatness and cultivate inner peace by learning how to love themselves and accept their true self. His lifestyle coaching called Luke Mind Power Enterprise Program, which is located in Dubai because he was getting destroyed in taxes. That's what I just learned. Delivering a personal growth platform unseen in today's personal development world. Get rid of that paper now. Now let's get on to the real question. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Thanks for having me.
Oh man, I'm excited. This is gonna be fun. I'm wild, by the way. This is like kind of like free.
As you were reading that, you were rapping it.
Yeah, it's time.
That's the theme right now. Right?
We got to get you a hat that says LMP.
Yeah.
Just LMP on top of it.
Yeah, I've got to. Like I told you before, man. The whole merch thing is definitely on the way.
That's
so
epic.
Maybe you're the connection.
Hey, I'll see what I can do.
Yeah.
I try my best.
Let's go.
So, real quick, everyone, before we dive into this, go ahead and like and comment, subscribe, and share this video because this is going to be a powerful one, and we're just going to keep dropping some powerful stuff. So make sure you're doing that. And where can they find you so they can start looking at your Instagram and everywhere?
Social media, man, everywhere at Luke Mind Power.
Ah, there you go.
So
LMP,
TikTok,
baby.
Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter.
LMP.
That's it.
What has been your favorite social media platform that you've been using for creating content?
I think TikTok is fighting with Instagram.
Really?
But I think, as I've built, the 1.1 million on TikTok, Instagram's always been the most powerful one for business.
Yes.
Yeah.
And do you think TikTok is catching up with that?
No. Even though TikTok has stories, the option to put stories, which I don't really utilize much, because you can't put a link in the story.
Okay.
The conversations, the chats, you can't converse with people.
Okay.
There's a limitation there. So that causes, and then also logging in. Like I've had an issue with changing my telephone number on my TikTok account. So then I'm not able to kind of like give my team access to my TikTok account because I don't want them to deactivate my account because my number is wrong.
Yeah.
And so I don't want to risk that. So I'm just using my TikTok account to post content, and I'm leading everyone from my TikTok account to Facebook and to Instagram.
Okay. Very cool.
So yeah, there's a bit of limitations there, but
Yeah.
so Instagram's been the power one.
Yeah, Instagram for me has always been the power one too. I've just recently started getting into TikTok and YouTube. Like we just started our YouTube, and it's been growing. YouTube Shorts are crazy.
Yeah, like my YouTube channel blew up because I started sharing all of my content from TikTok onto YouTube Shorts.
Yeah.
But now what I'm seeing with the content I'm posting is it's the same thing as what happened with Facebook Reels. As soon as they opened it up and everybody started posting on Facebook Reels, shit went viral. And all of a sudden it just went down and it declined. Same thing is happening on YouTube Shorts.
Okay.
It was going crazy. And like I went up to like what I am now, 169,000 on YouTube.
Epic.
And now it's just like
coasting.
Yeah. It's
like, I've actually heard that a lot of platforms are trying to go back to long form content, like over a minute and a half, 2 minutes long on like TikTok.
Well, TikTok's got a 10-minute option.
Yeah, and they're trying to like push that more because, I don't know why, but probably just they want to just fuck shit up and change it all the time. That's what these social media companies do. They just come in and fuck shit up. So, but who knows?
Yeah.
But I heard that they're paying crazy money right now for long form content.
Well, the thing is about paying, like Instagram and Facebook, I think have really done well because like you got subscribing on both platforms. So people are subscribing to me. Like I'll be honest, I don't even have anything that I've like put on there that's extra special in terms of just the content I'm posting, and people are still subscribing.
Really?
Yeah. So
we need to look into this, guys.
No, I'm serious. Like
I need to look into this.
And it's not for me to say, well, people shouldn't be subscribing. It's like, no, people love who you are.
Yeah.
And people want to be a part of your journey.
Mm-hmm.
So they subscribe and they pay $8 a month extra because they want to support
That more
you.
personal, yeah.
And then it's also just about good karma.
Yeah.
It's like you vibe with someone, you appreciate someone, then you put
Share.
that $10 or whatever it is a month because you're putting out that good energy, and whatever you put out comes back.
Love that. That's so, man. It's crazy. You're right. I've looked into it, but I've never really like dove into it.
Yeah.
Like
So
that
there's
way.
that, and then you get paid for ads on Reels.
Mm-hmm.
So on Facebook, that's what they do on Facebook.
Yep.
And then on Instagram, obviously there's the badges that they buy if you're live.
I saw they just added a feature too that you could actually allow ads in your reels and they'll pay you for that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I just saw
On
like
Instagram?
yeah, I just saw like 2 days ago,
Okay.
and I was like, I don't know if I want to do that, but it was cool. That's a cool for
Well, I mean,
content
it's working.
creators.
It works on YouTube,
Yeah,
but yeah, like it's because Instagram is short.
yeah.
Like if it's a 30-second video, you're gonna have 15-second an ad that comes in.
No
for
one
5
wants
seconds.
that. Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
So that might wreck it a bit.
Yeah, well,
people.
we'll have to see. So how did you get the name Mind Power? Like, I mean, obviously you were born with a little bit. How'd you get Luke Mind Power?
Yeah. So when I first started this journey, I met a dude on Instagram. So I connected with a company called Social Growth Engine, and this is not a plug. It's just I think he shared it with me, but I was on Instagram and I was posting, and then I was like, well, how do I grow? Like, how do you build like audience and stuff? And without like, obviously you need viral content, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think he connected me with them, but I don't know how I met him. I don't know. I found it somewhere, and I must have been using that platform, which then connected me with people who were into the stuff that I was doing, like motivational speaking and positivity and personal development. And so he connected with me, and his name's David Power Talk.
Okay.
Right. So, and to me, when I first met him, because like, I had like 4,000 followers or less on Instagram, when he had like 6,000. When I met him, he's from New York. I love rap music. I've grown up with like Dr. Dre and Eminem and Snoop Dogg and Ice Cube and
So this is where the rapping comes in.
Warren G and all this shit, right?
Yeah.
And so when I met David Power Talk, I was like, I saw him as like a famous like African American rapper from New York, like a celebrity.
Yeah.
That's how I perceived him. And I was like, oh my God.
Because of his name? Is that where you're
Nah, just because of his energy, his presence, and because he's from New York.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I'm from Australia, man. We're like far away.
Yeah, very far.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So when I met him, I was like, damn, I'm talking to like this dude from New York. This is crazy.
Yeah.
So I was excited, and he was supporting me. Like, he was voice messaging me on Instagram, and he's like, hey man, he's talking to me with his accent, and he's like telling me all this stuff. And I'm inspired, and I feel like this is amazing. Like, this dude believes in me.
Yeah.
Like, I've never met him before, right? So it was like 6 months later that 4 months later that I actually was coming to a conference, and I was like in LA, and I was like, shit, you know what? Like, since I'm coming, I might as well go and visit these people that I've connected with on social media. But the name came from using cocaine. Because for 7 years, for 4 years, and then after 4 years, I was getting it from mates and stuff. But then after 4 years, I was like, you know what? This is annoying. Every time I go out, we're drinking. Everyone is always like, hey man, have you got any? I was like, fuck it. I'm going to go and get it. I'm going to have it.
Yeah.
I'm going to supply it so that I don't have to fucking call anyone to get it. So then I had it on me, and it was just a friend thing,
Yeah.
It wasn't like I'm the local drug dealer.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
That wasn't what it was. It was just so that, when I was out with my mates, we had it.
Yeah.
That's it, So when I quit that, I came to this point where my grandmother passed away, and I came back from Poland after the funeral, and I just had this epiphany, this moment of like, this is not who you are. Like, you can't keep doing this shit. You're better than that, And so within the space of like a month, I moved out of my apartment that I was living in. I moved in with my sister. I remember being at this bowling alley with a mate who, we were always on it. And he was like, hey man, I got some coming, stay and we'll have some. And I remember that was the last time I remember saying no, and I left. And so the name came from my realization of the power of the mind, of the decision. That I didn't need to go to therapy. I didn't need to get a counselor. I didn't need to get a fucking psychologist. I didn't need to get anyone to help me to make a fucking decision for what I wanted to do and where I wanted to go in my life.
You just need your mind.
You just need your fucking mind. And so I said, Luke Mind Power, because I was inspired also by David Power Talk. And I was like, Mind Power. I was like, fuck, that sounds good.
That's epic.
So that's where it came from.
That's a crazy story, man. This is why I do this podcast right here. Like, fucking cool people, cool conversations, cool stories. That's awesome. That's awesome. And I love it because, like, I'm a big believer in I always say that you have to have trauma in your life in order to grow. Like, I don't believe, like, you can just grow without having trauma. Like, I believe the people that, like, really do crazy things and good things in their life and big things have gone through shit. They have to go through shit. And I just feel like that's, like everyone has to go through shit in order to grow. So, epic, man, epic. So is that really the point that you, like, was that, like, your starting point of you wanting to bring out, like, to help other people with it? Or did that come years after that, years later? When was that starting point that made you realize, like, I want to help people on their mindset?
Well, the first initial thing was just change. You know, it was not living in purpose or not being successful or not doing what you love or you know, like I was working in government as a driver, examiner, tester. I was taking out people, ticking boxes and taking out people to get their license. That's what I used to do. 9.5 years.
Really?
Right, every day, Monday to Friday. Sit in the car with someone and go straight. At the traffic lights, turn right. So that was what I was doing every day.
You got to a point where it was just...
You know, and I was like, I remember looking at a friend of mine and he's like 52, he's from Chile. And I questioned myself and I was like, I'm 33 at the time. And I'm like, is that me at 52 or 53 in 20 years' time? Because he'd been doing this for 20 years. Yeah. I was like, is that me? And I was like, fuck no, man. Yeah. Like, and the thing is, I was always questioning myself because I didn't go to university. All of my friends that I was surrounded by, they all ended up in good relationships. They, you know, some of them got married. They all went to university, did apprenticeships, started their own businesses. They were all doing well. For me, it was like, I wasn't good at school. You know, could have labeled me with dyslexia or ADD, attention deficit disorder. Can't pay attention. I was always getting in trouble, you know. So like, and I also believe that just for whatever reason, like I evolved late. It's like I was delayed in reaching puberty. You know, which kind of like made me less mature in a sense, right? Which has basically put me at the back of the field, you know, which I think for many people, you know, because they feel like life isn't working out for them or that other people are more successful than them or other things are working out for other people, they put themselves on the back burner as if like, you know, there's something wrong with me or, you know, life is hard. But to be honest, man, like I'm the fucking late sprinter, you know, like I'm the horse at the back that comes on the straight and fucking beats everyone.
Hey, as long as you win the race, that's all that fucking matters.
You know what I mean? So, you know, it was a process of like a long period of questioning and relationships as well. Like just I was talking to Missy's, my friend Missy, her friend. I was telling her friend that I have never been in a relationship where I actually was happy and comfortable and content with the person I was with. I've always been in a relationship where I just settled. Yeah. Because it was available and because I could have sex and because it's better than having nothing. Yeah. And because other people are in a relationship. So at least I got one too. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Right? Yeah. So that's one of my dreams as well, is to be able to actually attract someone who I want and they fucking want me as much as I want them.
Love that. That's the hard, it's a hard battle and hard journey too, is because I mean, before I met my wife, I was never in a relationship before her. Never had when you were young, I had like girlfriend or whatever, but like 2 weeks, you know what I mean? But never had a real relationship. until I was, 23. And then like next thing I know is like within 3 years, we have 2 kids and just got married. So it's like,
awesome, man.
So it's like one of those things where it's like a constant, like finding someone that you like do. But like for me, one of the biggest things that I learned is I just really worked on myself the entire time. And I said, you can either work on yourself and be with like inside the journey with me or not. Mm-hmm. And then like when I started doing that, then it like really became more of a, oh, we're doing this together. Like we're coinciding in life together. Like as an operating as one, but coinciding together. You know what I mean? Does that makes more sense? Like I still do like what I want to do, how I want to do it. I focus on me. Like I'm my number one priority. Like I love her. Obviously I'd do anything for, I'd die for, like, not like obviously like that too, but like my personal health, my personal growth, my personal self is the best, because especially now I realize like when I started doing that, she just started growing more. And I was like, fuck, I got to catch up now and I got to grow this way. And then she grows that way. So it's been, that's a hard one, but it's really fucking cool. It's really cool.
Yeah, it's teamwork, man.
Yeah, it is.
That's how it should be. But you should, a relationship is about helping each other become better versions of yourselves.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah, we had it was like 2 nights ago, we stayed up to like 5 a.m. just talking. And like, that's the coolest shit ever.
Yeah, man, that's what it should be like.
Talking about like what I should work on, what she should work on. Like not just with each other, but like personal stuff too. So when you can find that shit, it's really fucking cool.
Absolutely, man. Don't take it for granted.
Nope, you can't. You can't. So, so your biggest thing is like teaching people to accept themselves and loving themselves with that inner peace and stuff like that. How do you do that? Because I mean, in today's society that we live in, it's like everyone is fucking stuck on social media, looking at everyone else and like talking about, oh, this person has that or this has that. What's your tip?
So one of the things that's really important to remember is if you stay in your lane, there's no traffic.
Yo, that's mic drop.
But
cut that up.
But the thing is, because we lack confidence in who we are, self-worth, we've been through trauma, or we have a lot of insecurities within ourselves because of we've been bullied or whatever we went through when we were younger, we compare ourselves to other people. So we're constantly being lost in what other people are doing and becoming and being. And so then what happens? We lose ourselves, you know? Yep. So for many, many years, this was my challenge. You know, I was very self-conscious about my physical appearance. Like when I was growing up from like a young age to like my late 20s, I was very lanky, right? Really skinny. And so, you know, there were just, with relationships and with being bullied and you know, other people's opinions and perceptions and words that they would say to me, I created the story in my own mind that I wasn't good enough and that I'm different and that there's something wrong with me. You know, so being lanky and skinny is not good enough. Like you're different. You're not like everybody else. So then I become my own worst enemy by realizing that, you know, I can't be confident in myself because I'm the way that I am, you know. So that was one of my biggest challenges, was just not being able to accept myself for who I am, you know. And so that was my fight. And after all these relationships that I settled for, and, you know, and there was definitely one there that, you know, I wanted so much, but no matter what I did, it was actually a couple that I gave so much time, money, investment, energy, you know, I showed up as much as I can to prove that I was worthy of their love, and I still got rejected, which again, you can create the story in your mind that, well, they're rejecting you because you're skinny. They're rejecting you because you're not good enough. Yeah. Right? So that over time created my own mind of, you know, you're not lovable. You know, if people don't approve of you, then you're not good enough. You're not lovable, right? So again, it was always like the outside world is like conditioning you and programming you to think and feel a specific way about yourself, which is not their responsibility. It's your fucking responsibility to show up for yourself and develop a strong fucking loving relationship with yourself. So you have your own fucking back. So you're your own best friend. And so it doesn't matter about the external. It matters about you and how you fucking see yourself. So that was my fight for, you know, 2018 in June. I remember seeing this chick and a girl, and I don't know if you guys fucking some of the
But
anyway, so I was seeing someone, and all we were doing was just sleeping with each other because I broke up with her, and And like she still wanted to see me, and I was like, oh fuck, I don't really want to, but well, at least I can have sex, right? I was like, well, that's fucking good. She just whenever she wants, call me or whatever it is. So it was working well like that. But then eventually I got to this point where I was like, I can't do this, man. And I shared with her a dream of mine and something that I was working on, and she didn't support me. Yeah. She told me that I was crazy or that I was stupid or something. So the moment I went through that, I was like, well, she's toxic. She's not good for me. And so from that point on, I made a decision that I was not going to have any more relationships with any girls anymore. I was going to create a relationship with myself, have a relationship with myself, and learn to really love and accept myself for who I am. Yeah. And then it led me down this, rabbit hole of personal development. And at one point I was opening a gym, and then that led me to realizing that if I have this gym and I want to be a fitness coach or instructor, I'm going to have to facilitate coaching sessions and communicate and talk to people in groups, which then made me realize that I had this fear of public speaking, which led me to the next thing on YouTube. On YouTube, I found a speaking program called Speak and Inspire through Mind Valley, and I did that, and that brought me to a exercise called the mirror work, which got me to look at myself in the mirror and say these 3 statements, where I say, Luke, I'm proud of you 7 times, 7 things I'm proud of, 7 things I forgive myself for, and 7 things that I'm committed to. And so through that exercise, there was this moment when I did it, I think it was the first time, where I looked at myself and I felt uncomfortable. And that hurt me. Yeah. Because I realized that at that point in time that my mind had been conditioned in a specific way to be against myself and to not love myself and to not appreciate myself. And that really, I was just at that point, I was like, fuck you. Yeah. I was like, fuck you for making me think that I'm not good enough. Fuck you for making me think that I'm not lovable. And then and so that was the driver, was like, you know what, I'm going to fucking fight back. And I'm going to go through this journey to spend enough time with myself where the world can't fucking control me. And my mind is not programmed by the world. I'm the one that fucking controls my mind. And I think that's the challenge for most of us, because the amount of information and the shit that's out there is programmed in people's minds. And we live in so much fear and doubt that most people don't even know what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah, I've come to realize that. That's awesome, man, that you can realize that. And I'm a big believer in just like I used to, when I was younger, I was like 20, I was 21 when I got my first place, and by myself, and I had a wall. It was a big white wall, and it was like a high rise, and I had like a ladder, and I'd climb up the ladder, and I would sit there and write in Sharpie all over this wall. Like I had like an entire wall full of like affirmations and quotes and goals. And then like I would write them all over my mirrors and all my shower bath, like when I'm in the shower, and it's like
what kind of things?
Just like what I'm proud of, like what I'm achieving, even something as simple as being like, I'm grateful that I have 10 toes and 10 fingers. You don't realize, and then you can change your life like that.
So where did that come from?
I don't honestly. For me, it was when I was younger. Kind of the same thing. I'm a shorter dude. I was always short. And then one day I had like confidence, because I was like, for me, I was naturally good at talking to people. So like one of my confidence builders in life was that it was easy for me to get women, right? And so like that was one of my confidence builders. And it was always been easy for me to get women, like talk to them. Like I'm very like, I could talk. Like I'm very good at that stuff, right? And so that was what I used to build my confidence, by like looking for that in other people. And then one day, like I got up and like I was starting my entrepreneur journey, and I literally just, like I said, like locked myself in my apartment for like 6 months, and I listened to one book every single day for 3 years. I sped it up and I listened to it every single day. It's called The Magic of Believing. And then once I went through that cycle of like believing in myself and how the power of belief is, and then that's when it all started changing. And like I went from making good money, but like then to like in the next 4 years of my life, like 10-20x in what I was making before, like being able to do everything that I do now and live this life, and I did all that within 6 years. Amazing. So that's why this for me is like really powerful, because like I believe in it, you know what I mean? And then like it's cool because like now, like as in I would say probably the last like 6 to 8 months, I've been going through a journey of like, especially me, like I'm a very goal oriented, like driven individual, but like what happens when you hit all your goals in life, right? So like where you go from that, and that's been like my next battle in life and journey in life is like, you know, and I'm finally coming to the other side of that now. But like, I never thought I'd be at 28 hit every single goal I ever set for my life. That I've had goals for like ever, right? I've hit every goal. And then like that's when I started like getting lazy and not really drinking every day and partying every day, because I'd wake up no matter what, and I was making $200,000-300,000 a month no matter what I did. You know, I was like living the best fucking life all the time. And then I realized like, you know, you gotta have more of a purpose than that. So like sometimes like you go through phases, you know, and it's like I went through a phase of growth, and then I went through a phase of making it, and then I went through another phase of growth where because I had everything that I wanted, right? You know, like what is that purpose for you? And that was a hard one to get over. It's like sometimes you woke up, like I'd wake up sometimes and be like not that I was like ever like suicidal, but it was like, what's the point of being alive? Like if you don't have goals to hit, and that like that's what the world programs you to do though. Like so it's like finding that inner love and peace is like very powerful. So kind of crazy.
Congratulations, man, on everything that you've done, because
appreciate that.
Because it is a process, you know, and I think most people, you know, they fail or they give up because something gets too hard. Or they fail in one thing and then they think that that's it.
Yep.
You know,
it's a long journey. It's hard, but it's fun, and like it's just like at the end of the day, like this is like my thing. That's like I just tell people like life is really fucking cool. Like if you allow it to be really cool for yourself and you just like accept things.
How much stress though was involved? Because like I know myself with what I do in business and the entrepreneurial life and traveling and having a team and all this shit, like, you know, there's a lot of pressure at the same time. Yeah. So how have you like dealt with that shit?
I mean, so personally, like recently I would say what I've done is letting people help me, is a big thing. And like, just like letting go of things and like not, I don't know. I would say I just haven't put as much pressure on myself lately. I mean, obviously I have goals I want to meet and stuff, but like when I removed that pressure of like what I was supposed to do, things just flowed more. And then like it's little stuff too, like setting non-negotiable tasks. Like I have non-negotiable tasks that I do every single day. And then like what I would used to do is I would do those tasks, and then I'd be like, try and do tomorrow's task, but then I'd wake up tomorrow having to do the same task again. Right. And then I stopped doing that. And I just said, you know what? Like if I finish all my tasks, I can go do whatever I want for the rest of the day. Because I know if I finish these tasks, I'm already setting myself up to win the day. And then I'm going to win more days, and then I'm going to win more weeks, and I'm going to win more months, and I'm going to win more years, right? And then so it's like if I want to, you know, after today, you know, after we get done with the podcast, what if I want to go do whatever I want to go do? Like I worked this morning, I worked out, I hit everything that I was supposed to do today, already done. So it's like, okay, then I can go fuck off and do whatever I want. And then that allowed me to like breathe a little more, become more comfortable, relax, and just let other people handle their stuff too, because it's their job. And then building more of a community and handling the pressure, and then realizing that it's an honor to have pressure. You know, it's an honor to have that. Yeah. Have people rely on you and depend on you, because then like, you know, that's how you grow. And just, I don't know, man, just accepting it all for me has been like the biggest thing, is what I just started saying. It's okay. Like, it's just okay. You know, sometimes for me, it's like, sit back and just have a beer. And just like, I'll just sit back and have a beer and be like, cook a steak and like have just a beer and a steak and just chill. So you know,
did you find your purpose? Like, did you figure it out?
You know, not necessarily found my purpose. But what I did find is that I'm okay without having a purpose. I'm okay without like having like to figure out that purpose yet. I have goals, you know, I've set like realistic goals for myself now too, but like, I don't know, man. I realize I'm 28 years old. It's a lot of pressure to set on yourself to figure out your life purpose.
I don't think it's about the purpose. It's just about doing what you enjoy, like living a life that
truly
you
enjoyable.
Don't wake up in the morning and go, fucking hell, man, I gotta go to work. I gotta, you know, and that's what most people are doing.
Yep. And that was something else too. Like I would say that, so like you asked me that I find a purpose. I didn't find a purpose, but one of the biggest things I started doing was creating passion projects to help other people. And that's kind of been my, that's like honestly the reason I created LivingIcon is because like when people think of an icon, they think of someone that's dead. But like there's a lot of badass motherfuckers in this world right now that are alive that are fucking icons that I know personally, get to talk to. And that's like why we started this. That's why we bring people on this podcast. We fucking find people that are living icons, that are alive, that are well, that are helping, that are informing, that are sharing, that are growing. And like, that's this.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
and you know, this whole social media thing, like that's what I mean. Like you can use it to our advantage to like send out more good energy out there into the world, or you can get lost in all the bullshit.
Yeah,
because there's a lot of shit on there. You know? There's a lot of crap.
And they feed that. And it's kind of crazy though too, because like I've noticed, like as in like I look at like some of the people that I'm acquainted with, and it's like my feed is completely different than theirs. And I'm like, why is your feed like this? And they're like, well, because I've watched this, and I'm like, all you're seeing is like all the drama of the world, the Kardashian shit and all this other shit. And I'm like, you look at my Instagram and it's watches, it's houses, it's motivational, it's facts about the world, it's cars, like it's fun stuff that inspires me. Golfing videos. I got a lot of golfing videos on my Instagram feed right now. So yeah. So what would you say is the number one thing that people should do, like to start right now accepting and loving their self? Is it more of doing what you did, standing in front of the mirror and realizing that maybe you don't like yourself? Or is it more of like something like, because you said before, so that you grew up very lanky, right? Like tall and lanky. And like, I was like, okay, like I grew up very skinny and short. So what I did is I worked out. And that was huge for me, is like gaining muscle, right? So did you just accept yourself, or did you apply stuff to your actual life that then helps you accept yourself?
Yes. I mean, I've been going to the gym for years, man. Like training was, but like, I went through a phase where I used steroids as well, like because I wanted to be bigger, and then again, what was that about? That was about being accepted or being noticed, but I think now fitness for me is just part of health. It's part of energy, it's part of health. And for me, it's not about size. It's just about taking care of your body, because this is the only body, then vessel that you have to live, or that you have for the rest of your life. You know what I mean? And your health is definitely, so I think starting with your health is actually very important, because without it, you got nothing. Yeah. You know what I mean? But in terms of like, a lot of the reason as to why people are lost or disconnected is because of their environment. Your environment will make you sick. So if you're surrounded by maybe a toxic friend, or when I say toxic, I mean negative, or someone who's very pessimistic, or a relationship that's constantly degrading and bringing you down, or someone that just doesn't appreciate you or love you, that you're constantly surrounded by, well, then that's constantly lowering your vibrational frequency. And so you're not feeling empowered. So if you're not feeling empowered, well, you're not going to feel like you want to do things and you want to be better, right? So, it's really looking at your space and like where you're at in life, and asking yourself questions as well. Like, am I happy? Yeah. It's fucking simple. Yeah. Am I happy? Am I doing what I love? Like, am I content with my life? And I think the biggest part of change is like, what I did is working on yourself, like investing in connecting with someone who you are inspired by, and then figuring out, do they have a program? Do they have a podcast? Do they have a book? Do they have something that I can read or connect with or invest in, so that I can fucking learn from them? Yeah. Like don't take advice from people who haven't been where you're going. Facts. Like don't take advice from people who don't have what you want. And so many of us are fucking listening to people who have not been where you want to be, and you're listening to them. Yes. And it's like, check yourself, man. Like check yourself before you wreck yourself, because you're wrecking yourself all the time. The more that you freaking listen to shit that doesn't help you or inspire you or motivate you or brings you down, So I think there's a lot there, obviously, with what I just shared, but it's like looking at your space, your environment, what you've been doing for the last few years, because if you keep doing what you've always done, you'll keep getting what you've always gotten, So a lot of us are just our own worst enemy. We're in our own way.
Yes, I agree.
And we keep thinking that it's not possible. Like I used to think, and this is a thing, like you become what you think about, right? Mm-hmm. So I used to think that I couldn't run my own business, right? And early on, when I was working with my brother-in-law, we used to sell perfumes and cosmetics and stuff and phone accessories on eBay. This was like 18 years ago. And so when that evolved, I moved to Hong Kong. I lived there for 7 months. I was managing the office there. And then when I moved back from Hong Kong, because I was like, the 9/11 happened. And so we were sending all of the freight via airmail. And because of the 9/11, the alcohol, whatever it was, you can't send alcohol or flammable. You can't send flammable liquids via airmail. So we couldn't mail the stock anymore. So I had to move back to Australia. So then I started my own business online, selling perfumes, and I was doing it myself. And within the space of about 6 months, I was in debt, 20 grand. Like back then I was 21 years old, for me that was big. And, my brother-in-law came in that we did an audit of the business, let's have a look and see how you're doing. Because all I was doing was getting the money and then I was spending it. Yeah. So I was spending more than what I was making. Simple as that. So I think that created a bit of the fear possibly of that, I don't know how to run a business. I don't know how to do that. So my excuse every single time I would speak to anyone about business or whatever was, if I ever run a business, I'll get my brother-in-law to do it for me because he knows how to do it. So I had this narrative
becoming
in my
dependent
mind,
on people,
right? That I didn't know how to do it. So therefore I couldn't do it. So therefore I couldn't learn.
Yeah.
Didn't even know that I could learn.
You can learn. Yep.
Shit.
That's crazy. I like that you said addressing that, because have you ever heard of the study of routinal changes?
No.
So there was I didn't make up the study, but there was a study on it, but I call it routinal changes because so what I've noticed is every year, about a year and a half, I have to completely change my environment to something that I'm completely uncomfortable with. I literally will pack everything up and move across the world, across the states, anywhere, because I can't be in the same environment, same routine, especially if I grow too long. I start getting massive anxiety. I get anxious and I get stuff like that. And then I move, and then my brain all of a sudden, and every time I've done it in the first 90 days, I've between doubled and tripled my income in the first 90 days of moving. And then I was looking into studies, and there's a study on when, I don't remember what war it was, but when we were over, when America was, they were in some massive war. I don't remember what it was, but they basically all of our troops, not all of our troops, but a ton of them got addicted to drugs, right? And then they came back to the States, and then they completely dropped it. There was no going back to it. It was like a 3 or 4% rate. But if you look at here in the States right now, when people go to places, to rehabs, and they get put back in their same environment, the rate of them getting back on drugs is over 70%. But when they were shipped overseas, doing drugs over there, and then shipped back, and they didn't do drugs here before, getting back in that environment, it didn't, because it completely changed their environment, so their routine. So I started reading on it, and it was little things like waking up at a different time every morning, close to the same time, taking a different route to wherever you're going. If you know, if someone's going to work, take a different route. And apparently what it does is it's going to trick your brain into having to perform, because how many times have you ever been just driving straight on a long road trip, and then you're it's middle of the night, and you're just sitting there on your phone driving, and then you look up and you're like, holy shit, I've been driving for 10 minutes, but I'm just driving straight. Or how many times how many people are driving to work every day can tell you exactly where to turn, when to turn, how to turn, and how fast they're going to be going. It's because their life is becoming so programmed, right? It's so programmed. Mm-hmm. So change your routine every day. And that's one thing I believe in doing is I would always just change my routine, change everything that I would do. For a month, I'll start working out at nighttime instead of in the morning. And then I'll go back to work out in the morning. And then right now I'm starting to work out in the middle of the day. I just changing that. I change my diet all the time. I experiment, and it's just those routine changes. So I totally agree with you, is change your fucking routine and change your surroundings and get rid of things that you don't like. Well, addressing that as well.
It's funny you mentioned that, because I'm actually what you're saying is what I'm struggling with right now, is because I'm traveling so much. And I'm constantly in a new city, new environment, new hotel. The routine is out of thing. And I'm sitting here going, I want my routine back.
Yeah.
Because it's comfortable.
Yes.
Because I'm used to that. And but the other thing that I find is when I have that solid ground where I know I'm here in a specific place for 2 or 3 months, I'm able to get more focused. Mm-hmm.
Create a routine, yeah.
Versus constantly having to change. Like, because now I'm like 3 days here, 5 days here, 7 days here, 4 days here.
I find that awesome.
I'm living from a suitcase. You know what I mean? So, but I get what you're saying, because like that's what I've been doing. I'm constantly moving and evolving, and I'm not staying in the one place. I can't.
Yeah.
I was living in a house for 12 months in like out of Sydney, and then we're like, nah, man, we got to get a big mansion. So when I got that fucking mansion, had a nice pool, garden, everything is really nice. And then 4 months later, I'm like in Dubai, and I'm like, nah, that's it. We're out of that house. I don't want to be there anymore. You know,
the routine changes.
So
and you don't realize how powerful they are too.
But it's like, it's a different type of style of life, you know. And I guess for me right now, you know, I'm not married. I don't have kids, you know. So of course things could possibly evolve and be a little bit different for other, like people could be listening, hey, yeah, but I've got kids, I can't do that, or I've got a wife, or you know, I've got, you know, my job, or whatever it is. So, you know, I think we're coming to a point in this life now where, you know, especially with social media and YouTube and you know, the online world, where, you know, a lot of people can work from their laptop, which is pretty powerful, which means that you don't have to freaking stay in the same place.
Nope.
Like, and that's what I think is stopping most people from evolving and growing, because everybody is like, they're living this rat race. Go to work, come home. Go to work, come home. Go to work. And it's like fucking unconscious living. Unconscious, like NPCs. People aren't even alive.
NPCs.
What's that mean?
What does it stand for? An NPC? It's like non play role character or something like that. And basically what it means, it's just like it's, ever played a video game like Grand Theft Auto, and like you have the people that you walk up to and they just start talking to you. That's like what I feel like 90% of our fucking population are, is people that are just fucking NPC people, that they're just, like you said, back and forth to work, eat dinner, and do this. And it's like, and then when you actually decide to make a change in your life, there's a switch that goes off in you. And when that switch goes off and you decide to change your life, then it's like, you know, there's powerful, like, you know, fucking, I don't know. People should just change it. Like, and like, that's why I brought up the routine change of like driving different to work every day. And then your brain has to function. It's, because like you have to change your brain back to you have to, you know, change your brain. Like you were saying, like grow it. Right. And do you know, every time that you get sick, like with something new, that's why like COVID, I feel like truly grew a lot of people. Like a lot of people grew during COVID. But you know, every time your brain gets sick, it has to grow and evolve, and in order to overcome that, because we're evolutionary creatures. So I have kids, and like I see it. Like I have one of my kids will get a cold, and they'll get a cold, and they'll come out like smarter than the cold. And then I like started doing it. I started talking to my friends, the doctors, and they're like, no, your brain has to adapt and change, because when you get sick. So therefore your brain is literally getting smarter the more sick you get. Like not the more sick, but like when you get sick and get over it. And so it's like, that's the same thing. Like I feel like COVID did that for a lot of people. A lot of people had to fight a new virus in their body, so it made their brains smarter, and it made them more smart. So it's like changing your brain.
Yeah, I believe it, man. It's the same thing as me driving on the left side and driving on the right side. Yeah. You know, in Dubai, it's the same as the US. Yep. In Australia, it's the opposite.
So you're paying a little more attention.
As soon as I get in the car here, I'm like, oh, I know how to do it.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, because you've been doing it.
Yep.
You know, but when you do it the first time, when you come to the US for the first time, or to Dubai, you're like, oh my God, I'm on the left. I'm sitting on the left. Oh shit, keep to the right, keep to the right, keep to the right. And like, you know, you have to remind yourself. Yep. That's what I did when I first came to the US 4 years ago. I was sitting in the car, and I was like, keep to the right, keep to the right, keep to the right, to remind myself that I'm not going on the wrong side of the road. Yeah.
Man, so, what do you think about Dubai?
The one thing that pissed me off after I figured it out was that there's a lot of people that have fake Instagram accounts. Yes. And because I have worked on my account and grown it organically, a lot of people that I connected with and that I can see that are in Dubai, they have these amazing accounts with nice pictures and, you know, all the success and everything like that, but their accounts are not genuine. Yeah. That doesn't mean they're not genuine people. Yeah. And I understand, I appreciate that it's marketing, you know what I mean? And, you know, when someone who's not like me, who's been in social media for the last 5.5 years or 6 years, looks at it, they're going to think like, oh, wow, that's a very successful person. Oh my God, they've got 500,000 followers. right? Because that's what people look at.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the one aspect of it that I've come to learn a bit about, that people are not who they you perceive them to be. But other than that, like the networking opportunities, the vibes that people are living on.
Dubai has the most amazing vibes.
Yeah, the affluence that's there.
Yeah.
That's like, you know, I go to the gym, Benos Gym, which is the biggest, or it says it's the best gym in the world. But, you know, you go there and it's just, you know, Lambos and Ferraris and G-Wagons and Porsches
awesome.
and shit just all lined up at the front.
We're moving to Dubai.
and you know, and then everybody, whether they're jacked or they're not, it doesn't matter. But the fact that people are at the gym and they look good, they're powerful, everyone's training, you know, and so that's a motivational and very empowering environment, you know. So if there's any reason why you go to that gym, it's because you're surrounded by success.
Yes.
You know, and everybody in the gym is successful, right? And as you know, you become who you surround yourself with. So, you know, for me, that was one of the reasons why I moved to Dubai, not to mention what you just said. But what you just said about your environment.
Yeah.
Like you just made me become aware of like, oh shit, yeah, I keep doing that. I keep moving around. I keep changing my environment. And Dubai was the same thing. The first week and a half, I was like, where the fuck am I? You know, but after a couple of weeks, I'm like, shit, I'm home. And I literally felt that way. And, you know, it's a place that most people will judge because it's in the Middle East.
Mm-hmm.
But the Middle East and that region is evolving.
Very different.
Like it's growing, but like you think that, you know, it's a Muslim country and that, you know, women are oppressed, but it's far from that. You know, like, for example, the government, when there is the Ramadan or the holy days, right? They have 5 days off or whatever. And when they have 5 days off, there's no parking fees. So the government says you don't have to pay parking fees, you don't have to pay for anything for the next 5 days. It's the break. So like I saw that as also being like, you know, hey, we care about the people.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And they also respect their culture and they're very traditional, you know, which I vibe and I dig it.
Yeah,
me
too.
And they don't conform to the West.
Yes.
They don't conform to America and what the UK and Australia are doing and what they want. They stick to their traditions. This is our fucking religion, our country, our culture. If you don't fucking like it, fuck off.
That's one reason why I fucking love Dubai.
That's why I like it, you know, because here in Australia, they basically, whatever that happens in America, happens in Australia, you know, and they're very heavily influenced by, you know, So, and then the other thing about Dubai is it's in the UAE, it's very safe.
It is very safe. It's very safe.
It's very safe.
Yeah.
You know, everybody knows, like if you fuck up, if you do the wrong thing, you're gone, man. Chop your fingers off, you're in jail. Yeah. You know, you're done.
Don't fuck up.
You know, and
we have a joke. Every time we go to Dubai, we're like, be careful or straight to jail. Straight to jail. And like it's true. Like it's true.
Airport's a silent airport.
Yeah.
There's no talking. There's no announcements. It's just quiet. And it's like, fuck. It's
peaceful.
Peaceful, man.
Yeah. Dubai is wicked. I love it. I'm going back for, like I said earlier, 2 weeks in January. Super excited.
Yeah.
And the food. Hold on. The food.
Yeah. Like the quality, man.
It's incredible. The best food I've ever had. Like in
it's
Dubai.
Hot. If you're there between,
January and December,
May to September, it's hot. Yeah. Like it's fucking hot, man.
But now it's starting to cool down over there.
From October to April, those months, it's supposed to be perfect. But you know,
I mean, here, same here. Yeah. It's hot during those months, but then it's not. So that's cool. So, what does the future look like for you? Like, what's your goal? What is your like business, personal? Like, what is your next goal? Like, what is your next 24 to 48 months? What is the future?
Yeah, it's really establishing my physical presence with people, in doing more things in person rather than virtual, because I've been doing like virtual coaching on Zoom and conference the Zoom, and working privately with people via WhatsApp, via Zoom.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like, it's great, but as I've learned, with some events that I did in Australia, people come because they've been inspired by my work, and they come in, or my podcast, for example. Like I had a lady come up to me at my event in Melbourne, and she's like, you know, I've been listening to your podcast, and because of your work, I had the courage to leave a 20-year abusive relationship.
Wow.
And she turned, like she was facing this way, and then she turned like that because she didn't want other people to hear her and see her cry, you know. So, you know, and then I just like, because I'm a pretty tall and bigger dude, I gave her a big hug, you know, and like, so feeling that connection with people, and
it's powerful,
and having people come up to me and share with me their stories and stuff. It's like, that's what I thrive off. And that's where you talking about like giving back and being able to help other people. I think that's what we're all born to do, you know, but the message comes from, hey man, take care of yourself first. Loving yourself is putting yourself first and making sure you take care of you first so that you're strong and powerful enough to be able to fucking take care of others.
Yep.
You know? So
I tell people all the time, because I mean, obviously my audience is more in the financial space, right? And so I tell people all the time, everyone's like, well, you know, like I got to start making money so I can help my family and help all this. And I'm like, that's cool, but like, you need to help yourself first. Like you need to collect your bag first. You need to make your money. You need to build your investments. You need to build all of this, and then you can help people. But like until you're doing that, like you can't like trying to split the pot all the time doesn't work. You know what I mean? You need to make sure your pot's full. You need to make sure your table is built. Then you can put chairs at your table for other people, but you have to have a fucking table, and you have to have your own chair, and you have to have your own fucking pot of money. You know what I mean? Then you can start doing it. And it's the same thing. It's the same thing with everything in life. It's the mind, the fitness. It's, you know, it's people. Like you don't go to a gym and see a really unhealthy, out of shape person training other people. Like like it doesn't work, right? Yeah, it doesn't work. So like get yourself in shape before you can start training other people. Get your bank account right before you can start helping other people make money. Get your mind right before you can start helping other people with your mind. And that's like that personal experience. I love that. What is one business goal? Purely business.
Good question, man. I've never really thought about it, you know, because it's more just about, I mean, I guess it's asking the question like, when do you know that you've got enough?
You don't.
Yeah. You know,
I can tell you that right now.
You know what I mean?
You never will. I can
like,
tell you.
Like,
I can tell you that right now.
You know
for
what
a fact.
I'm saying? But I think the business, most importantly is to help my family, you know, because I've got 2 of my sisters that work with me currently. I've got a 3rd sister that I'm like, I want you to work with me too. But then I've got 10 nieces and nephews, and I can also see their struggles with mental health and with confidence, self-esteem, stuff like that. So I can almost envision that some of them will be working with me, or that's a part of the team, a part of the company. Yeah. You know, so I think that's definitely a goal, you know, in business, is to obviously, you know, be able to help my family, because I'm the youngest of the 3 older sisters that I have, and they helped me a lot in my 20s. You know, my parents moved away, and I didn't want to move where they moved, and so I didn't have a house to live in. So I was living from one sister's house to the next, you know. And it's kind of the story of my life, because I've never really had like a home, you know. But because they helped me so much, you know, it's just my nature to want to give back. Yeah. And so I'm like, I had to sacrifice time and, you know, the investment into myself to now be able to go, hey, let me give you an environment where you can work from wherever the fuck you want to work, and it's a positive working space, and you can travel, and you know, and you can help people, and that's all we do.
That's awesome.
So that's definitely a goal.
Epic. I love that. So let's help him reach that goal, or whatever it takes. Real quick, this camera right here. I ask this to everyone in, you know, 1 or 2 sentences. Leave the audience with something powerful, motivational, inspirational, and that helps them grow.
Put me on the spot, right? No. But as I mentioned, your environment will make you sick, and if you keep surrounding yourself with people who don't inspire you or motivate you or lift you up or encourage you or empower you, then you're always going to be left dry, drained, and down. And in order for you to get up every morning, you got to feel that energy. You got to feel powerful. You got to feel amazing. So don't be discouraged if there's people in your life that you want to be around, but you don't have that yet. And in order for me to grow and evolve and to attract the right people into my life, I had to become that, because you attract what you are, not what you want. So don't feel as if if you're at that point in your life right now and you're not attracting what you want, it's just the universal God just saying, hey man, I need you to slow down. I need you to connect with podcasts and information and books and stuff that inspire you and motivate you, because as you take this journey, you'll start to evolve and grow, and then you'll start to connect with the right energy that you want to be around. So first important thing is to love yourself, and don't wait for anyone to approve of you or validate you and to remind you every day that you're enough. You need to be that. You need to be your own booster. You need to be that person for yourself. And the more that you do that every single day and realize that, I'm not coming to your freaking house to knock on your door and say, hey man, believe in yourself today. Hey, don't forget to love yourself today. This is your responsibility, and it's about time that you took responsibility of your life and you came back home to yourself and you said, hey, you know what? I've been through some fucked up shit, but that's the past, and I'm going to do what I need to do to process all of that. I'm going to heal from that. I'm going to grow from that. I'm powerful because of it, and my pain is my power. And as you grow and you develop this stronger self-worth and this better version of yourself over time, what will happen is you'll find peace. And when you find that peace, that's when you're fucking powerful.
Epic. Fucking love that. Peace. At peace. That's freaking epic. Yeah. That's a hard one, man. That's a hard one to find too. I've struggled with that for a long time. And it's fun. It's fun. So where can they find you once again? Where can they find you, and what's the best way to reach you?
The best way to reach me, if you're interested in working with us or anything like that, you can send us an email, support@lukemindpower.com, or you can just reach us on one of the best platforms is Instagram. Just send us a DM on Instagram and just message us at Luke Mindpower. I'm on all social media platforms, but the best place probably is Instagram.
Awesome. And we'll drop them down below as well. We'll also drop the email. We'll drop everything.
And you got my website as well, lukemindpower.com/home.
Yep. Reach out there and let's get out there and let's change some lives.
Yeah,
let's
Let's go.
All right. Appreciate you, bro.
Appreciate it.
Epic, man.
Thanks so much, man.
Yes. Peace.
Start when we stop, we gon' get it done. Get it when we start, we gon' get it done. Start when we stop, we gon' get it done. Anthony's World.